Welcome back. We're on to the issues of equivalency and accuracy on page 105. This is just noting here that when translating, you can't always get the exact, there's going to be issues on the accuracy and equivalency of what is being translated or interpreted. The condition of being equal in meanings, what they're saying here, the value and quantity and so on. And this is going to have a large focus in the area and study of languages, which is linguistics, which is comparing the translated meaning to the original meaning. And are they equivalent? Or is it accurate what is being said here? So they have some examples in the textbook here. The word-for-word translations that are not equivalent in meaning can yield amusing target texts. So remember, once again, that source texts are the original text. I think that would be the easiest way to put it as well. So the source text is the original text, and the target text is the translated meaning. So someone had tried to translate these, but they did not come quite, as great as they could have. On page 105, your examples in the bullet form. Is forbidden to steal hotel towels, please. If you're not a person to do such a thing, is please not to read notice. The lift is being fixed for the next day. During that time, we regret that you will be unbearable. Please leave your values at the front desk. Is forbidden to wait, I just lost my place. I'll just choose one. The manager has personally passed all the water served here. As you can see there, it is quite a quite horrible translated thing here into the target text. They're also noting here, just to go on with the examples, is that there's, it's quite difficult to have that equivalent meaning. And at the bottom here, they say that notably some US American presidents provides for some good examples as well that you can read through in your spare time. I'm going to move on to the role of translator or interpreter, which is to say that we assume that translators, interpreters are invisible, but what they really are is they are mediators in the thing, or intermediaries, that they regulate what is being said by the sender. It's important to note that if you yourself are in the situation, that you also just note that the cultural sensitivities as well. And they do give examples here that I can read out. Tom, one of the American authors of this book, recently met with some journalists from China. An interpreter who spoke Mandarin, Chinese, and English was brought along. Tom was sure to acknowledge her presence and asked her when and how he should stop speaking so she could interpret. He also ensured that she should feel free to ask any questions to clarify anything that might be interpreted in different ways. By doing this, interpreter was given more flexibility and authority in interpretation, which hopefully assisted in the interpretation process. We often assume that anyone who knows two languages can be a translator or interpreter. The research shows that a high level of fluency in two languages does not necessarily make someone a good translator or interpreter. The task obviously requires more than the knowledge of two languages, but that's not just enough for that as well. They're just going on to saying there. And they're making use of just more examples in the section of the work that you can read through in your spare time. We have completed Learning Unit 1, Theme 1 of our work, ending off with multilingualism and, of course, the differences between translation and interpretation with issues of equivalency and accuracy and the role of a translator interpreter. You're always welcome to go into Google and looking at different translators and interpreters. I've also included in your lesson plan a video clip example of that, of how it looks. In the movies, it looks so, sort of like, cool, and the translator is personally involved, but it's a very technical process and it does require a lot of thinking and planning and a lot of focus and concentration there. Make sure you're doing your VC Learn activities and textbook activities as well. And remember to take notes on this video clip and ask your lecturer for additional queries on the content that you may not necessarily understand from this explanation. Thank you so much. We'll be moving on to Theme 2 in your next work. See you then.